All right, let's dive right in. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to map out the absolutely wild story of how a seemingly basic piece of white plastic went from, well, an internet punchline to a literal multi-billion-dollar cultural juggernaut. I mean, look around today. It is almost impossible to go for a walk, commute, or just sit in a coffee shop without seeing those iconic white stems sticking out of someone's ears, right? But getting to this point of total market dominance, yeah, that was anything but a sure thing.
Before we map out this incredible trajectory, we really have to rewind a bit. We got to remember the intense skepticism that surrounded their launch back in 2016. The media openly questioned this bizarre new design. CNN literally ran the headline, "Would people actually wear these?" Early reviewers were saying they just looked like Apple's old wired earpods, but, with the wires awkwardly snipped off. There were memes absolutely everywhere. People were deeply, deeply unconvinced.
So, to truly grasp this underdog story, here is our path for today. First, from mockery to tech magic. Then, the evolution of the AirPods, followed by a billion-dollar cultural phenomenon. After that, the price of wireless convenience. And finally, beyond just playing audio. Section 1, from mockery to tech magic. So, how exactly did Apple manage to overcome that initial wave of public mockery? Well, it started with a highly debated hardware decision, the removal of the traditional headphone jack on the iPhone 7. This was a massive shock to consumers. Many critics viewed it as manufactured demand, like, forcing people to buy a brand new proprietary accessory just to listen to their music. But strictly from a strategic standpoint, this controversial move effectively cleared the stage. It basically forced consumers to look toward a totally new wireless era. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The actual secret sauce that made these earbuds succeed where so many others failed was this proprietary system on a chip. See, early Bluetooth headphones were famously clunky. You had to hold down buttons, wait for those annoying flashing lights, and honestly just pray they paired. But by integrating their own W1 and later the H1 and H2 chips, Apple made connecting AirPods feel like absolute magic. You literally just open the case near your phone and boom, you were connected. And beyond just connecting seamlessly, Apple packed an unbelievable amount of sensory tech into a tiny 4-gram earbud. They threw in built-in accelerometers to detect your taps and pinches. They added dual optical sensors to know exactly when the bud was placed in your ear, which is how it auto-pauses your music the second you take it out. Plus dual beam-forming microphones to filter out all that background noise. They made the hardware practically invisible while constantly anticipating exactly what the user needed. Section 2. Evolution of the AirPods. Okay, so once the public actually embraced this frictionless design, how did the hardware change over time? Instead of drastically reinventing the wheel every single year, Apple methodically iterated over 8 years. They transitioned from the original W1 chip in 2016 to the H1 in 2019, which brought us hands-free Hey Siri. Then in 2021, they brought out a redesign with shorter stems. And by 2024, the 4th generation introduced the super powerful H2 chip and finally, shifted the charging cases from Apple's proprietary Lightning port to the universal USB-C standard. As you can see here, this strategy of steady, incremental upgrades is honestly brilliant. Over the years, battery life got slightly better, the charging methods expanded from just Lightning to include Qi Wireless, MagSafe, and USB-C. And of course, the chips became way more powerful. They improved the device without radically altering that core formula that consumers had already fallen completely in love with. Section 3, a billion-dollar cultural phenomenon. Now we hit the turning point. This is where this heavily mocked accessory completely conquered the market and morphed into a definitive status symbol. To really put this scale into perspective, because it is super easy to lose sight of just how massive this product line is, analysts note that the financial footprint of Apple's entire wearables division, largely driven by AirPods and the Apple Watch, actually outpaces the vast majority of America's largest corporations. It is bigger than 60% of the companies in the Fortune 500. Think about that. A division selling earbuds and watches is out-earning legacy mega corporations. And the exponential sales growth, it's simply staggering. Analysts estimate they jumped from 14 to 16 million units sold in 2017, up to 60 million by 2019, and a breathtaking 120 million pairs by 2021. In no time at all, they rapidly captured an estimated 60% of the entire global wireless headphone market. But here is a slightly humorous yet totally fascinating statistic. Analysts estimate that 5 to 7% of Apple's total AirPods revenue comes entirely from people replacing their lost earbuds in cases. That is right, $500 million a year generated just by people dropping them down subway grates or losing them in couch cushions. The sheer volume of use makes even replacement parts a literal financial empire.
So the really crucial point here is that AirPods completely transcended the tech world. During a 2019 earnings call, Apple CEO Tim Cook accurately called them nothing less than a cultural phenomenon. And he hit the nail on the head. They spawned viral internet memes, millennial and Gen Z consumers viewed them as a modern status symbol, and they officially shifted from a ridiculed accessory to a widespread cultural flex.
Section 4. The price of wireless convenience.
However, all this incredible user experience and market dominance, it didn't come without some significant unintended consequences. First off, there is a severe environmental toll. The lithium-ion batteries degrade pretty rapidly, sometimes lasting less than half of their advertised 5 hours after just 2 years of use. Even more critically, they earned a rare 0 out of 10 repairability score from iFixit. You literally cannot repair them without destroying the outer case, which makes them incredibly difficult to recycle. And on the social front, wearing them has basically created a universal do not disturb signal. Some users strategically wear them just to avoid small talk, which researchers at George Washington University noted has actively decreased daily social interactions among students. They've even sparked conflict in collaborative offices where leaving them in is, seen as disrespectful to coworkers.
So we constantly have to weigh these two realities. On one side, you have the absolute seamlessness of the user experience, right? No tangled cords, hands-free Siri, automatic switching between devices via iCloud. It's great. But on the flip side, you have the stark environmental and financial reality that these premium devices are inherently disposable e-waste once their tiny batteries inevitably degrade. Section 5, Beyond Just Playing Audio. As we look forward, AirPods have completely outgrown their original simple purpose of just playing music. This is a truly remarkable development. In 2022, researchers at the Taipei Veterans General Hospital conducted a study comparing AirPods to commercial medical hearing aids. What they discovered was that by using Apple's Live Listen feature alongside the noise-canceling capabilities of the AirPods Pro, these commercial earbuds assisted participants almost as well as high-end, extremely expensive medical hearing aids like the Oticon Open One. An everyday consumer device is literally bridging the gap into medical utility. That is wild. And this technology is only accelerating. With the release of the AirPods 4 and iOS 26, these earbuds actually transformed into active translators. When you connect noise-canceling AirPods 4 to an iPhone equipped with an A17 chip or newer, Apple Intelligence kicks in. This enables real-time, AI-driven foreign language conversations translated directly into your ear. They have essentially become wearable supercomputers. Which brings us to our ultimate takeaway. Knowing that AirPods have evolved from a highly mocked internet meme in 2016 into an invisible wearable that can translate foreign languages in real time and serve as an affordable alternative to hearing aids, we are left with a massive question. How will this invisible technology continue to reshape human connection and interaction in the coming decades? Will it bring us closer together through instant translation, or just push us further apart into isolated little bubbles of audio? It's definitely something to think about the next time you pop them into your ears.